But the point that you get into is about esotericism. And we've talked a little bit about this, as I mentioned before we started rolling, is like, I don't set out every season on the Craftsmen Online podcast, like this season, we're going to talk about George Washington. We're going to talk about the esoterics, but we've been getting a lot into education, and I've stated this a few times, of just the natural curiosity or truth seeking that I believe every Freemason has. And that's also kind of a quality or a skill or a trait that would make you a good Freemason. So this idea of, as you mentioned, like curious men of Franklin's time, are you seeing a resurgence of this now with the esoteric research that you're doing and other brothers that you know of that are in your circle?
I think it's a little hard to say. I know that the concept or topic, or maybe even just the word esotericism is awfully divisive within the fraternity nowadays. And when asked to comment on this, my current train of thought is that there are really basically three different schools of thought about esotericism. One is to conclude that things like astrology, tarot, alchemy are secretly woven into the fabric of Masonic ritual or precepts, and should be sought out by all people who are serious students of Freemasonry. That's way off one end of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Way off at another end of the spectrum are folks who believe, hey, look, if you're talking about English and Scottish fellas from somewhere between the first and the 14th century who were building things out of stone, it's highly likely that they were Christian persons and not particularly interested in astrology or tarot or Kabbalah. And so, in fact, in these gentlemen's opinion, nothing reeking of the esoteric belongs commingled with my Freemasonry. That's at this end of the spectrum. And I think that there's probably more than one position that falls in some kind of middle ground. But the one that keeps crossing my mind is that, by definition, esotericism means something that is kept hidden and secret on purpose, and then is only taught to a select few. By that definition, Freemasonry is, by itself, esoteric. Whether you think any of that other subject matter should be connected with it or not. Freemasonry is a thing that is kept hidden and secret on purpose and should only be taught to a select few. So there's plenty of opinions on that. Now, when I think about fellas like Franklin, I do like to think that it's possible we have a little something in common, aside from my waistline and my hairline. The funny thing about Franklin is, if you stop and think about it, before he ever got to be this natural philosopher and capturing lightning with a key, or becoming in charge of this institution and that, and helping build the city of Philadelphia and yada yada yada, what he was a guy with a day job printing, who also wanted to do stuff on the side that he was curious about and better himself. Thankfully, I've found plenty of guys like that, many of whom are Masons. Fellas who do something from 9 to 5, but when they wrap up for the day, instead of just wanting to go sit on the couch and stare off into space, they feel like it's time to roll up their sleeves and different work begins. A different craft in which they are engaged. Heck, those are some of my favorite people.